Hi, everyone. My name is Morgan. I am the Executive Director of Sports for the Fort Worth YMCA. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video and bearing with us as we've had to make some changes to our schedules because of the winter storm last week. And so I'm pre-recording this so that way y'all can watch it on your own time when you have a chance. And we'll get you all the information that you need about the volleyball season. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen so you guys can see the information that I'll be covering today. Alrighty, so as I said, my name is Morgan. I have been with the YMCA of Fort Worth for just over 2 years now. And then I was with the San Antonio YMCA for 2 years before that. So I've been doing youth sports for a total of about 8 years now. So I'm very excited to have you guys back. This is our first indoor league since we had to shut down last year for COVID. So we're excited. We're anxious to get back. So for those of you who were with us last year, we do have quite a bit of changes with the sports program. If this is your first time participating in the Y since we reopened, I'm going to go ahead and briefly cover those. So right now it's myself and Danny Clemens, who's our regional sports director right now, leading sports for the association. It is just the two of us. So beforehand, when we had, at least 1 to 2 people every branch, that is no longer the case. It's just Danny and myself. So, we ask that you do bear with us as we get through all your information. We're running soccer and volleyball this year at the same time. So we have a lot going on. It's a big undertaking, but we're definitely excited to have everyone back. So up here is the branch split for the volleyball season and who your program contact will be. So I will be handling anything to do with Benbrook, Hood County, Joshua, Ryan Sports Complex, and McDonald. And then Danny is handling the north part of the association and is running the airport, North Park, and Northwest programs. So our emails are right here. You guys, if you haven't already, you'll be getting emails from us, so you'll have that contact info. If you do need to call us for anything, we just ask that you can call your YMCA that you're associated with, and the front desk knows our extensions and they can transfer you to our extensions. Since we do work at multiple branches, we're not always at our specific phone. So if you leave a message, we will get back to you. But again, email is always the quickest way to get a hold of us, just because we're constantly bouncing between different branches right now. So for those new to the Y, and for those who need a refresher on everything going on, for our mission, we strive to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. So as you can see by that statement, we don't it has nothing to do with the score of games. It has nothing to do with how elite an athlete is. Our leagues are for kids who have never played a sport before, or they're for kids who have played a sport for their entire lives. So we are here for everyone, and we are here to make sure that when kids come into our program, they leave it better than when they came in. As kids, we really want to develop their character and make sure that they're ready to move on to whatever is after the Y for them. So with that in mind, we do require that everyone gets to participate and everyone gets equal playing time. This is not a league where we have tryouts. This is not a league where playing time is based on skill. Everyone gets to play an equal amount. We cover that with coaches. We understand that there may be some days where players just don't feel like playing and just want to sit on the bench. Totally fine. There may be times when players are rotating and someone has to run out and can't rotate on time. That's okay. But overall, we just want to make sure that everyone is getting equal playing time. And then we know that for practices, sometimes things happen and you can't make it, and we don't want players to be penalized for missing a practice just because they missed that one night. So what we do ask is that you communicate to your coaches if you are missing, so that way they're aware, but we don't want the players to be penalized for that. So we just ask that you guys communicate with your coaches if anything like that's going to happen. So for those of y'all who have participated before, you've definitely heard about the annual campaign, I hope. I am going to touch on it real quick so that way you guys can all have a refresher on what it is, and we'll cover it. We'll dive a little deeper into it later on in the season. The fall is really when we ramp up our campaign. But what it is our annual campaign is a way that we raise money to fund scholarships for our program. So the scholarship funds assist families who might not be able to participate in or why otherwise. And so it gives reduced rates for memberships, for sports, aquatics, day camp, any type of program, memberships, and it really allows our community to make sure that no one is turned away due to an inability to pay. So, but again, with that, we have to raise money to fund that. So you'll hear us talk about it more, but it's just something that when we talk about it, we want you guys to be aware of what it is and what we're doing. This last year, we were able to raise over $1 million across the association to fund these scholarships, and so it's a great opportunity to get involved in the community, and it's a great opportunity for us to connect with our community and get folks into it. All right, so as far as parent participation and demeanor in our league, we want you to always be encouraging to your kids. They are going to feed off your reactions. We had this discussion with the coaches that the kids, their eyes and ears, they're going to be on you. They're going to be on the coaches. So we want to make sure that you guys are always displaying a positive attitude and good character during the games and the practices. Parents, coaches, players should always be respecting the YMCA staff, the officials, and opposing teams. Just like, we ask that you respect everyone, we ask that everyone else respects you as well. So, we understand that sometimes during games things might get frustrating. If you have any issues, bring it up with the YMCA staff. We don't want any big scenes caused, and we want to make sure that the kids are our first priority and that we're not taking anything away from them because of a situation that we have to deal with. All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, volleyball is our first indoor league back since we shut down last March. So that is a big undertaking. It comes with more restrictions and safety protocols that we do have to put into place. We ran soccer in the fall and we're running it again. And so we have a lot of these same safety protocols for our outdoor sports, and for indoor, it's even more important because of the enclosed space that we're in. And we don't have, a whole field to roam about. So with that being said, we will send you guys the links to access our return to play guidelines, but a few things I want to highlight is that all spectators over the age of 10, all spectators and then players over the age of 10, coaches and staff must wear a face covering while they're at our program facilities. So if you are there for practice, if you're there for a game, you must be wearing a face mask, a face shield, in the facility the entire time that you are there. Players may remove their mask while they're on the court playing. If they want to wear their mask, that is completely fine. We have some players that just prefer and they want to play with it. That is completely all right. But everyone else needs to be wearing that face covering. This is so important. We want to make sure that we get through this league safely. We get through these next 8 weeks with no COVID shutdowns, and that we are not, by coming to our programs, that, you're not putting yourself even at more risk of contracting anything. And so we need to be respectful of everyone in our facility, of everyone in our program, and make sure that these safety protocols are being followed. And we will continue to harp on this throughout the season, and we will address it if it's not being followed in a gym. And I cannot stress how important this is for you guys to be following these safety protocols inside. So we, again, like I said, we are committed to making sure that this is a safe league for you guys to participate in. And with that, we are not going to tolerate any type of disrespectful behavior towards our staff. Or anyone else trying to enforce these safety protocols. Our staff are there to make sure that your kids have a good time playing, to officiate the games, And so that can go a lot easier if they're not having to go around and remind everyone to put their mask on. We are very strict on this. If you've participated in our soccer season, you know that this is not something that we take lightly, and we will enforce it. If anyone is not willing to follow these safety protocols after they've been asked, they will be asked to leave the facility. And if they will not leave the facility, then we will suspend play on the court. This is not something that we're going to sit around and argue about. This is just, if anyone is unwilling to follow them, then we just won't be able to play right then until the issue gets resolved. So again, we don't want players to be affected by this when they're on the court. When they're on the court, they should be focusing on the game. We don't want them to have to worry about anything going on outside in the stands. So please help us out in that way and make sure that everything for that 1 hour that you're there, that everything goes smoothly. So since we are in an enclosed space, since we do have less space in the gyms, we can only allow 2 adult spectators to attend each game or practice with a child. Siblings are allowed. We're not asking you to leave your other children at home. They are absolutely allowed. But as far as adult spectators go, this unfortunately we can't allow 6 different family members to come with kids. So we understand that sometimes grandma and grandpa and uncle want to come in and see the game. And so it might be that, you guys have to rotate on who comes each week, but, we just cannot accommodate more than that. So we ask that you do respect that and that you follow that safety protocol, or if we see that more folks are coming in than allowed, we might have to take that number down even more. We want to make sure that we are not overcrowding our gyms, and make sure that again, we are allowing for social distancing in the gym as best we can, and that can only be done if we limit the amount of spectators. We also are not doing post-game snack handouts. You can absolutely bring your child, their own, snack and drink after the game. And if you all, as a team, want to go out in the parking lot or in the grass and go and meet after the game, that's completely fine. But we're just not going to do group pass outs of snacks this season. So our Sportsmanship of the Week award, some of y'all have seen this before, but what it is after the first week of the season, we're going to ask coaches to email us if they have a nomination of a player that they felt displayed the YMCA core values that week. And so those are caring, honesty, respect, responsibility, and faith. So this is not absolutely not something that is mandatory for coaches to do. It's if they feel that they had a child that demonstrated that, we definitely want to hear about it. And so they'll send us a couple sentences on why they're nominating that player. And what we do is each week, Danny and I'll go through our specific branches, and we'll look over the nominations, and we'll choose one child to recognize. So we'll recognize the child before their next game, and if you can see the picture here, they'll get a little a red Sportsmanship Award jersey, and we'll take their picture, and then we recognize them in our weekly email that we send out to the program. So it's an exciting thing to recognize the kiddos for their character. It has nothing to do with how well they played that week. It's just solely based on how they demonstrated good character that week. All right, so as far as coaches go, all of our coaches are volunteer. No one is paid. Everyone is taking time out of their lives to coach the kids. And so we definitely want them treated with respect and with understanding that they are most of them are parents just like you guys, or folks that are volunteering for our program because they have a passion for coaching. So we want to make sure that parents help them out as much as they can because they are taking on a huge undertaking. So all of our coaches, in order to coach and get roster access, have to have a cleared volunteer application, background check, and concussion training on file before they can start. So that's why when we get close to the season, we try and get coaches in as quick as we can and fill the teams, but we do have some a string of things that has to be completed before they can get access to that roster. So as far as team practices go, those are scheduled by the coach, and practices can begin on March 8th. So that way you can get one practice in. We went over with the coaches the different facilities that are available in each area. again, with the time that we're in, especially if you've played before, specifically at the Northwest, the North Park locations, you're used to playing at school gyms. Right now, we cannot get access to any ISD gyms across Fort Worth. They are still not allowing outdoor rentals in, which is completely understandable from their part. But that means that we are very limited on what we can offer. So, your coaches have that information and what we can offer and other options. And then there might be some teams that if they don't have a suitable location or don't decide that they would prefer to just play on Saturdays and just have a fun season and commit to one time a week, that's completely fine. Again, your coach will go through everything about that with you, but just know that we're very limited on space this season. We wanted to bring volleyball back, but we're having to use our YMCA facilities and then a couple gyms that we're able to rent that are not associated with ISDs. And then so hopefully in the fall, we'll be able to expand our facility usage and get back to a little bit of where we were before. So PlayerSpace is our communication system. If you go to the App Store and download it, it's this. This is the logo, this blue star here. So all of the communication from the Y is going to come through PlayerSpace. You'll get an email that it has your login information where you can view your team, view your schedule, and everything like that. Your coach can message you in there. You guys can post on your little team wall, and so that's where YMCA communication will come from. We will have our game schedules posted by the end of the day on March 5th, so it's 1 week before the season starts, and you'll get a notification when the game schedules are published, so that information will be there. And again, if you don't want to use the desktop version, download the app and you'll be able to see if you have multiple kids in there, if you have kids playing in different sports, all of that is linked up, so you can see everything in one spot. As far as the rules go, we will have that again on the same web page that has our return to play guidelines and our calendars for each branch. And so this is the link right here. You'll get that in emails as well that you can go take a look at. Just a couple things that we want to highlight is that the team limit is 12 players. We've let the coaches know that as well. That is a hard limit. We're not adding any more than 12 players to a roster. We play 6 on the court. So not every team will have 12 players, but if you do, that is the absolute max. On the bench, there's only one head coach allowed and then one assistant coach. And then we ask that they are wearing their coach's shirt so that way we can identify them if we need to go, figure out who the coach is real quick. And then so the coaches will be on the bench area and then the parents will be on the other side of the court. We've also covered with the coaches that playing of any illegal or ineligible players will result in suspension. So if a player is not registered in the league and comes to play, that is not allowed. Or if a player is playing in a division where they're too old or too young for, that is also not allowed. So we've covered that. If it's a situation where a team is short players and they'd like to borrow players from another team in their division that week, that is all right. We want to make sure that the games are able to be played, even if we have a bunch of players out of town or something. So that is 100% allowed, and we've covered that with them. But we just can't, we don't want players from the 13-year-old division coming down and playing with the 11-year-old division. And then any type of misbehavior from coaches, parents, or players will result in suspension. So again, this goes back to making sure that you are being a positive influence on the kids while you're in the gym. If you have any concerns that you need to bring up with YMCA staff, we just ask that you do that in a respectful manner. And again, we will address things as needed, but we don't want, again, to cause any big scenes in the gym where kids' eyes and ears are. So as far as uniforms go, we will provide the jersey top. These are their long sleeve dry fit shirts. So we will provide that. We have the sizes that you guys have signed up. When you sign up, you request a size. So we have that. We will notify the coaches when the jerseys arrive and when they can be picked up. And then your coach will distribute the jerseys to you guys. So like I said, we will provide the jersey. You guys, the short sock shoes, that is all, up to what you guys want to wear. We don't have any specifications of colors on that. All the players do need to be wearing knee pads. That is a requirement. And then they do need to be bringing their own ball. So those are, the equipment that you guys need to provide. And then if anyone registers late or close to the season, then their jerseys will be on a supplemental order. And we'll get those in. So everyone will get a jersey, just not all of them will be in the same order. As far as rosters go, coaches are getting, if they have their volunteer application already on file, they're going to start getting access to their rosters. And we've asked that they contact you no later than March 7th. So this might be reaching out in player space, a phone call, a text, an email, something. You should hear from a coach by the 7th. If you have not heard by the 7th, you can please call your YMCA, and they are able on player space to look up your team. That is a much quicker way to get a response than emailing Danny and I which team you're on, because they can just answer the phone, give me your name and number, whereas we might be going through a bunch of emails at the time and can't get back to you right away. So, that Monday, what we ask is just call the Y, and if they have any trouble seeing what team you're on, then they can send you over to us. But you'll get a much quicker answer if you call the Y first. And then the games will begin on Saturday, March 13th. Again, as a reminder, we postponed it 1 week because of the winter storm. And we were down for a week. We know a lot of folks couldn't register. We weren't able to get things prepped that week. So we're starting March 13th. We will not have any games on March 20th, because that's the second week of spring break. So we always take that week off, and then we will not have any games on April 3rd, which is Easter weekend. So we'll have 8 regular season games. It's just over a 10-week period. So we do still need coaches. We have some coaches who have volunteered, but we always need more parents to volunteer to fill coaching slots. So if you are on a team that does not have a coach yet, that is completely all right. It is not out of the ordinary. I don't want anyone to panic if you get that email from us. That happens in every single sport, every season, every division. Every season we have to get coaching slots filled. So if you are on a no coach team, you'll be contacted by Danny or myself on Tuesday, March 2nd, letting you know that you are on a team without a coach, and we do need someone from the team to step up and help, and that could be one parent or 2 parents if that works better. But again, we'll provide you with all the information that we have. And then if we'll be working through that the week of March 1st, and then if by the end of the week we haven't been able to secure a parent to coach, then what we'll do is we'll set up a team meeting for the week of March 8th, so that way we can get the kids together, have one of our staff run a short practice for them, and that way we can talk to the parents about the coaching responsibilities and the options and all that. So don't worry, we don't start seasons, we don't start games without filling the coaching slots first. Sometimes it does come down to the wire, and we understand that it is a big undertaking. You do not have to have experience to be coaching. That's how most of our parents come in who are brand new coaches. They do not have experience. That's pretty much the best way to start out in the Y. So again, we'll cover all that with you guys, but if you do get that email, I don't want anyone to panic. We'll go with the flow on everything and get everything covered. So that is all that I have for you guys. I know some of you might still have questions on different things, so please feel free to email Danny or myself if you do have any questions, and we're more than happy to give you the answers to those. But please be looking out for communication from your coach or from us next week. We'll provide you with as much information as you can and as we can. And again, we're very excited to have everyone back. It's been a long year. We're excited to see everyone and continue to build back our program, and hopefully in the fall, be able to expand more. So we hope that your kids are excited to come back, and we will see you guys soon. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot us an email, and we'll be in contact with y'all. Have a great day.